Pahalgam, through Operation Sindoor, India has maintained an unwavering focus on Pakistan, our neighbor on the Western Front. In the meanwhile, the situation in the nation on our Eastern Front has gone steadily and terribly volatile. We are referring to Bangladesh here. Experts are calling it the emerging axis of evil. Through Operation Sindoor, India delivered its pledge to destroy radicals and terrorists in Pakistan. In Bangladesh, the rise of pro-Pak radicals depicts a similar threat in the making. There are many telltale signs. They are all related, leading Bangladesh to one radical future. First, Bangladesh's political landscape, viewers, is undergoing a seismic shift. The interim government had lifted the ban on radical Jamaat-E-Islami. Now the country's apex court has ordered the Election Commission to restore the registration of Jamaat-E-Islami. What does this mean? This paves the way for Bangladesh's largest Muslim party to contest elections. The same Jamaat-E-Islami that had supported Pakistan during 1971 War of Bangladesh liberation and opposed the creation of Bangladesh. It was found involved in terror activities and was banned by Sheikh Hasina. It is known for its opposition to secular policies. It also is accused of being involved in attacks on Hindus after Hasina's ouster. And now, under the virtual head of the government, Muhammad Yunus, it has regained legitimacy in Bangladesh's political arena. As per Yunus's critics, Jamaat support is key for him to stay in power, while Khalida Zia's BNP wants Yunus to fix a date for elections as soon as possible. As per experts, Yunus is probably delaying it to give time to Jamaat-E-Islami to prepare for elections, likely to be held in June 2026. Development number 2. The man responsible for crimes against humanity during the 1971 war has been acquitted by the Supreme Court. Jamaat-E-Islami leader ATM Azrarul Islam was accused of killing over 1,200 people and raping 13 women. He was handed the death sentence in 2014 by the same International Justice Tribunal that indicted Sheikh Hasina. Third big development. The attempts to weaken the moderate voices represented by the Awami League have gained momentum. 10 months after she took refuge in India, Bangladesh's radical forces have secured indictment of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina by the International Crimes Tribunal. She was charged with ordering police action against protesters last year and crimes against humanity, including mass murder. Fourth, steady attempts are on to erase the legacy of Bangladesh's founder, Bangabandhu, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Under the current chief advisor of Bangladesh's interim government, Bangladesh's central bank has removed the picture of Bangabandhu from the new currency notes. The new notes will highlight the cultural heritage of the country by featuring natural landscapes and historical landmarks. A few months back, you would recall the protesters in Bangladesh demolished Rahman's house, defaced his murals and brought down his statues. Why? Because he defeated the pro-Pakistan radical elements. Fifth, the clinching evidence. Muhammad Yunus is out in the open batting for stronger, closer ties with Pakistan. In April only, he had said, and I quote, "We," means Bangladesh and Pakistan, "kept missing each other for a long time as our relationship was frozen," unquote. It is an established fact, viewers, that Pakistan-based Jamaat-ud-Dawa, a front for Lashkar-e-Toiba, claimed role in Hasina's ouster as revenge for 1971 Bangladesh war. Yunus's anti-India agenda is visible also through his attempts to cozy up to China, which is Pakistan's ally. In fact, in March 2025 only, Yunus visited China and he said how Bangladesh is the only guardian of the ocean for India's northeastern states. No one at all missed Dhaka's silence in the aftermath of the Pahalgam terrorist atrocity that claimed 26 innocent lives. Observers interpreted the calculated silence as a strategic attempt to avoid antagonizing Pakistan, a country with which Bangladesh has been warming ties in the aftermath of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's ouster. So we would like to discuss tonight the new axis of evil, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China. what is cooking against India in a country India helped create. Joining us on the broadcast right now is a very special guest. We have Mohibul Hasan Chaudhry, Naufal, former Education Minister of Bangladesh. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. I want to first ask you, I listed 5 developments that have taken place in Bangladesh over the last few days. I want to ask you, is secular past being erased and anti-India future being constructed in Bangladesh?
Thank you for connecting me today. You see, the attempt to erase our secular progressive political culture was there since 1971. As soon as we achieved our independence from Pakistan, of course with the help of the international community, especially our friend India, our comrade in arms, attempts were made by anti-Bangladesh forces within the country and outside of the country to destabilize the country in many ways. They had shaken hands with ultra-leftists to the ultra-rightists. After 1975, when our father of the nation was killed brutally, the entire family was assassinated. The subsequent leaders of the country, I say the word leader with caveat because they were not legitimate rulers or leaders. They were not democratically elected. They had all tried to erase the history of Bangladesh, our history of language movement, our history of democracy movement against the Pakistani military rulers, and our war of independence. And these were consolidated for almost 21 years.
Right.
And that force has taken a strong position in government and administration. But after our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had the chance to dismantle those evil infrastructure who relied on support from different countries rather than economically developing the country, rather than rather than advancing the country's secular liberal political culture. Right. In the past, we have seen how Bangladesh was used as a terror breeding ground to export terrorism to India and other countries during the time of Jamaat-led, BNP-led, and also some dictatorships which did rule the country for some times. She dismantled all those infrastructures. She focused on the country's economic development and social development.
Right.
This was not tolerated by Pakistan, and especially the Pakistanis deep state. And Mr. Yunus, who from 1971 had always held a pro-Pakistan bias in his academic life and as well as his social life, wanted to take revenge against our government for some personal grievances that he had, because he was convicted for tax evasion, convicted for not paying due dividends to his workers, convicted for many different financial offenses as well as criminal offenses. So he had his personal agenda to take revenge on our government.
He has his
At the same time, he had
agenda. And I want to ask you, because, you know, a lot of developments have taken place. Say, for example, Bangladeshi prosecutors at the international... Yes, I just want to ask you one thing. Bangladeshi prosecutors at the International Crimes Tribunal have formally charged former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina of crimes against humanity. Last month, ICT issued, asked the IGP to request Interpol to issue a red notice against 10 individuals, which included you as well. Is Yunus driving this himself, or is he someone's proxy, in your opinion?
Well, we have seen whose proxy he had been for a while. We have seen his cozy relationship with Open Society Foundation, funded by Mr. Soros' son and Mr. Soros. We have seen United States President Donald Trump publicly admitting how USAID funds were channeled into obscure NGOs which ran clandestine operations across the globe, including Bangladesh, and he had in fact named 2 NGOs where there were only 7 individuals working and who received more than $10 million in one financial year. So obviously he is representing interest of his foreign masters. His entire cabinet is full of foreign nationals when our constitution prohibits foreign nationals from holding public positions, including ministerial positions. So his entire team has been imported from different countries to serve the interest of those who put him in the position. So it is his personal agenda, it is his ideological agenda, and it is also at the end of his life almost, because the man is 86-year-old, he wants to play the strongest brinkmanship here to demolish Awami League, to demolish the legacy of 1971 and create regional instability in the country so that they are able to open another war theater. We've seen it in Pakistan, how Peshawar was turned into a war theater to drain Soviet Union, to fight the war in Afghanistan with the help of Mujahideens, who then brought in Al-Qaeda and Taliban, etc., etc. The same sort of agenda we do see behind the motive, behind the actions taken by this Yunus government in the name of humanitarian corridor.
And amidst all of this, what should India be doing? Now that becomes very, very important. Yes, Mr. Mohibul Hasan Chaudhry, thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. As you explained to us the possible motives that could be behind, what Mohammed Yunus is up to these days, the kind of developments that are taking place. How should New Delhi be viewing all of this? We would like to discuss that with my guests who are joining us on the broadcast on this debate. We have Ratan Sharda, who is an author, Major General Dhruv Katoch, retired Director, India Foundation. We have with us Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry, Editor, Blitz, a Bangladeshi journalist. We also have with us retired Major Reza Ul Karim, researcher and foreign affairs expert, also joining us from Bangladesh this evening. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us here on Times Now. Ratan Sharda, I want to ask you a direct question because some very big developments have taken place in Bangladesh. Jamaat-E-Islami is all set to fight elections. The road is absolutely clear. And I want to ask you, is Bangladesh marching towards religious fundamentalism?
First of all, I must break many bullets, many wrong notions that we have about Bangladesh. I'm reading a book these days, it's called The Joy Bangla Deception, which tells a lot of things that generally we don't talk about. Shoaib is my friend. I have been on TV with him, on YouTube with him, so he may not agree with many of these things. But Bangladesh was never a secular state. Right from the beginning, because the Bangladesh carries a legacy of direct action. The Noakhali riots, the 1950 riots from Jessore to Chittagong, with thousands and thousands of Hindus died. So, and Jamaat-E-Islami was part of these killings. Sheikh Mujib was part of Muslim League at that time, and he removed Muslim and became Awami League, because Hindus had no other option but to vote for Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. But to tell you a very unhappy story, in 1971, when the Dhaka temple, Ramana Kali temple, was destroyed with shells, Mujib refused to rebuild the temple. Bulldozers were used, and it was turned into Suharwardi Park. Remember who was Suharwardi? The butcher of Bengal. This is the legacy that Bangladesh carries. Jamaat-E-Islami was part of the murderous attacks at that time. It was part of murderous attack, killing and raping and killing and looting Hindus in large numbers in millions during 1971, because they dared to vote for Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And 1974, we saw General Rishad, and that was a comeback for this. Muslim Leaguers and these Bangladeshi Muslim ultra-radical Muslims. Now, what do we do? So the solution, do we have a solution? Yes, I think the only solution is military solution. I am not a government person. I can say what I want to say, because the so-called chicken neck of India has to be turned to a chicken neck of Bangladesh, and Hindus are to be restored there, because I can tell you from 22%, it will drop to 1%, 2%. If this outfit Jamaat-E-Islami heads way. So that is the only way. You can't keep on having all the Hindus back to Bengal and let Bangladesh run riot. And one last thing, Maulana Basani, one of the founding member of Awami League, what did he say? Assam is mine, West Bengal is mine, Tripura is also mine. Until the regions are liberated back from India and liberation of Bangladesh will not be complete. These are the people there. Whether they belong to Awami League today or they go to Jamaat-E-Islami today, these are the people, murderous people who have this grand vision. So unless that grand vision is broken, we will not have peace.
Right. Those are important points you've raised. And we'll go across to Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry as well. Jamaat-e-Islami's return to mainstream politics, open claims by Jamaat-ud-Dawa about their role in Sheikh Hasina's ouster. Isn't it a clear sign of the rise of radicals in Bangladesh?
Thank you very much, Hina Kambiji. First of all, I'd like to clarify one point that Yunus is not government. According to the constitutional provision of Bangladesh, there is no room for any interim government. Yunus is the chief advisor to the president of Bangladesh. He's not heading any government at all. Number two, Yunus is a foreign passport holder. 14 members of his advisory, so-called advisory councils are all foreign passport holders. His so-called national security advisor is an American citizen. So these are a bunch of foreign mercenaries trying to destroy my country. And they are being assigned by the Pakistani ISI to take revenge of the 1971 war. And what we are witnessing here today and since the last year's jihadist coup, that they have been gradually trying to destroy Bangladesh. Now, under such challenging situation, very unique thing is happening here, Hinaji, that Bangladesh Armed Forces or Bangladesh Army is taking a very bold step to protect democracy of Bangladesh. In every country in the world, and also particularly in Pakistan, we know that their army is destroying democracy. But our army is trying to save democracy, save democratic institutions, save the country. And our armed forces are, every member are undoubtedly patriotic. They have openly pledged that they will not let anything go wrong with this country. They will not allow anyone to sell out any part of Bangladesh, whatever, until they are alive. So this is a kind of the war between the enemies of Bangladesh and our patriotic armed forces. This is first thing. Secondly, now I'm coming to your point. You mentioned Jamaat-e-Islami.
Yes.
Hinaji, Lashkar-e-Taiba has publicly proclaimed that they were behind the last year's jihadist coup. Even recently, Lashkar-e-Taiba has declared that they are opening branch in Bangladesh. And we have been witnessing on the streets of Dhaka, the Hizb ut-Tahrir, the Jamaat-e-Islami, the Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State waving their flags openly. And Yunus is the top patron of these terrorists. I have been telling everyone in every television in the world that Yunus is today's Osama bin Laden.
Well, those are some strong statements you are making. And I want to ask Major Reza Ul Karim if he agrees with the points you're making, because Major Reza Ul Karim, we hear Yunus and Pakistan clearly have got plans for Jamaat-e-Islami. It's pretty much clear now, actions speak louder than words. But the question is, what is it that Jamaat-e-Islami has planned for Bangladesh?
Actually, I thank you for giving me opportunity to speak on this issue. I partially, mostly I agree with our Bangladeshi friend, what he has said, Mr. Chaudhry. He's right, yes. In Bangladesh, what is going on right now, especially few of the political parties like Jamaat-Islami Bangladesh, before 5th August, the stance they had, now their role is quite different. Now, actually, in Bangladesh, Jamaat-Islami was always disputed on many issues. But right now, yes, they might have the political rights. They might have the rights to participate in election, the democratic right they might have. But their current role is quite disputed. The reason is they are just not aligned.
But given their past, isn't it going to be dangerous for Bangladesh, for India, if Jamaat-e-Islami is allowed to contest elections?
See, actually, right now, the way they are portraying their role, we cannot actually predict what they are going to in future. If they are claiming that they will have a new agenda, they will have some corrections, they will have reformations. If they truly take certain reformation in their political party...
Well, they were against the formation of Bangladesh itself during 1971 war. They were pro-Pakistan. I mean, you know, how can they have an agenda to reform the country? I mean, I think that's like a far-fetched thought. I want to go across to Major General Dhruv Katoch as well. How should New Delhi be looking at these developments? And do you think secular past of Bangladesh is slowly being erased almost on a daily basis, and anti-India future is now being constructed?
Thank you, Hina. Hina, let me give you my views very straightforward, and frankly, I'm not a political person, so I can speak it out. You know, in Bangladesh, I'm afraid what has really happened is the takeover of the Islamic regime. That is the long and short of it. And this has been facilitated by the United States of America to suit their agenda. The US has always facilitated Islamic radicals wherever they wish to facilitate certain agendas, regardless of whatever they may speak. And I see it in West Asia, I've seen it in Pakistan, and I'm seeing it now in Bangladesh. This is one. Number two, as far as the Jamaat is concerned, they may not be interested in elections. They may be saying they're going to fight. They don't want elections. Neither does Yunus. And the problem is both these political parties of Bangladesh, the Awami League and the BNP, they are going to be rendered ineffective. That means, you know, their relevance will go. There will be no election in Bangladesh. It will become a radical Islamic country. It is already a radical Islamic country that will be formalized. And you know, when it was said that the Bangladesh army is fighting, come on, we don't want the Bangladesh army to fight. We want the people of Bangladesh to fight. Nobody from the Awami League has got up to fight. Nobody from the BNP has got up to fight for their democracy. They don't expect India to fight for them. If the people don't do it, who's going to do it? Now, what India needs to do, one, don't worry about what is happening in Bangladesh. I think we need to be very concerned about what is happening in Murshidabad and Malda. Even today, 100 to 200 people keep, you know, these fellows are forced, you know, they're infiltrating into India. Now, I think we need to change the entire dynamics of border security, get people there from the BSF who can really act. And we should change the orders. Any infiltrator caught, it has to be shoot. You don't let infiltrators come in. There is no question of bhai-bandi there. We are at war with a particular Islamic ideology. I'm afraid that Islamic ideology was at a very diluted form, even when Sheikh Hasina was there. She tried to control it, but she couldn't. So she actually cooperated with some of the Islamic elements. But now it has become beyond control. Yunus is a creature of the United States. The Islamists are creatures of the United States, and they will continue doing what they are doing. India has to stop them.
Well, absolutely. I think it's an important point you've raised. We need to strengthen our border security and also crack down on infiltration in a big way as the first step. Mr. Ratan Sharda, I want to ask you, what does this rise of radicals mean for Hindus specifically? Remember, there have been attacks, targeted attacks on Hindus and Hindu temples as well. And we all would, remember what Muhammad Yunus had said, that Indian reports are exaggerated. 1951 census for East Bengal, East Pakistan, actually, Hindus 22%, 1991 15%, 2011 just 8.5%.
I said at the beginning, my first argument itself, that Hindus are not going to be safe. They never were safe. That is the reason the population dropped from 22% to 8% now. It will drop further, but luckily for us, the local Hindus have refused to bend down. They're ready to fight back. They may be launching their own party soon, a minorities party for Buddhists, Hindus and Christians, etc. And they will assert their rights, because that is the only way to fight back and make their place in Bangladesh. You'll be surprised to know that at the time of independence, Bangladesh had reserved seats for Hindus. They're a separate electorate. It was merged with the other parties in 1952 or 54. Shoaib may be knowing better the dates. And that is when they lost the control or the veto power they had. And they will be suffering now unless there is a strong action from Indian side, like whether it's question of, stopping illegal migration or giving support to people who are there, and also trying to get them some land. Just like Bangladesh said that if you're Lebanon for our people in Assam and in Bengal, we now need to ask for special space for Hindus. It may be a long fight, but fight is the only way out. Otherwise, I fear whether temples, one temple is broken or 10 are broken, it has never stopped since 1947 itself. And we must realize that position and be ready for a long haul for which the local minorities are ready to fight. Who will support them? That is a moot question. There are good people like Shoaib, there are good people in Awami League still now who are ready to stand up. Many have been killed so far. I think 15 have been killed, if I'm not wrong, which include Muslims and a few Hindus. But fighting out is the only way for democratic rights and being supported by good people.
Right.
And also India giving strong signal that they will not allow this to carry on.
Right.
And they will have to carve special district for Hindus if that is carried on further.
Okay, interesting points there. But bottom line is that there is this new axis of evil emerging, Bangladesh, Pakistan and China, something that India will have to monitor very, very carefully. So far, the focus has been on the western neighbor. Now, the focus also needs to be on the eastern neighbor and the way developments are taking place in Bangladesh. I'm completely out of time. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Mr. Ratan Sharda, Major General Dhruv Katoch, Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry and Major Reza Ul Karim. Thank you for joining us here on this debate. Heading into a short break.